You open your email, and there it is, the offer that makes your heart skip a beat. Book now and get a free unlimited open bar package. It sounds incredible, doesn't it? You imagine yourself sipping cocktails by the pool, wine at dinner, and Irish coffee in the morning, all on the cruise line's dime. You hit that accept button faster than you can blink. You think you just won the lottery. But then, a few minutes later, you look at your booking confirmation or your credit card statement. Wait a minute, why did the price go up by $400? If it's free, why are you paying hundreds of dollars extra before you even step foot on the ship? You call customer service and they give you the standard line, "Oh, the package is free, but you are responsible for the daily gratuities on the original value of the package." Welcome to the biggest marketing illusion of 2026. You just paid a non-refundable deposit for a gift. And the reality is, whether you drink those beverages or not, that money is gone. I'm Carolyn Morgan. I spent years working in the cruise industry, watching the numbers behind the scenes. And I can tell you one thing with absolute certainty. The beverage package is the single most profitable product on a cruise ship right after the casino. Why? Because the math is rigged against you. Today, we are going to put away the glossy brochures and take out a calculator. I am going to show you the real math, the break-even analysis that the cruise lines don't want you to do. I will prove why 80% of you are losing money on these packages and how paying as you go could save you enough money to book your next vacation. The free at sea fallacy. Let's start by dismantling the free at sea myth. Most major cruise lines, you know who they are, heavily market these free perks. They bundle Wi-Fi, dining, and drinks into a promotion that looks like it saves you thousands. But in 2026, nothing is free. When you accept the free beverage package, you are automatically charged a mandatory service charge, usually 20% of the retail value of that package. Let's do the math. If the retail value of the package is $109 per day, which is standard for 2026, the gratuity is about $22 per day. For a 7-day cruise, that is roughly $154 per person. For a couple, that is over $300 just in tips. Now, ask yourself, if you were paying for drinks one by one, would you actually spend $300 just on tips? Probably not. You have essentially prepaid a massive service fee for a service you haven't even used yet. And remember, if you don't drink enough to justify the package, you don't get those tips back. That money is pure profit for the line before the ship even unties from the dock. The break-even analysis. Now, let's look at the actual consumption. This is where most passengers overestimate their ability. We call this the break-even point. In 2026, the average cost of a standard beverage package has risen to between $90 and $120 per person per day, plus that 20% gratuity. So let's say your total daily cost to break even is roughly $120. What does that look like in drinks? The average beer is $9. The average glass of wine is $12 to $14. The average cocktail is $14 to $16. To simply get your money's worth, to not lose money, you need to drink roughly 8 to 10 alcoholic beverages every single day. And I don't mean just on sea days. I mean every day. Can you drink 8 cocktails on Monday? Sure, it's the first day of vacation. Can you do it on Tuesday? Maybe. But by Wednesday, the day 3 wall hits. Your body is tired. The sugar in those pina coladas is making you bloated. You just want a glass of water, but you can't stop. Because you paid $120 for that day, psychologically, the package turns your vacation into a job. You feel obligated to drink to beat the house. You order drinks you don't even want just to get the value. Instead of relaxing, you are working to recoup your investment. And trust me, the house always wins. The port day trap. Here is the biggest variable that destroys the value of the package: port days. On a typical 7-day Caribbean or Mediterranean cruise, you will have 3 or 4 port stops. On these days, you leave the ship at 8 or 9 a.m. and you might not return until 4 or 5 p.m. That is 8 hours where you are not on the ship. You are on land. Your drink package does not work on land, unless you are at a cruise line's private island, and even then, there are exceptions. So, while you are in Cozumel, you are buying $3 beers at a local beach bar with your own cash. But guess what? You also paid $120 for that day on the ship. You are double paying for your hydration. To make the package worth it on a port day, you have to come back on board at 5 p.m. and drink 8 cocktails before you go to sleep. That is not a vacation. That is a recipe for a hangover and a missed excursion the next morning. Cruise lines bank on this. They know that physically you cannot consume the value of the package on port days. That unused potential is pure profit. The cabin mate rule. This is the number one complaint I hear from couples, the cabin mate mandate. Cruise lines have a strict rule. If one adult in the cabin buys the alcohol package, all adults in the same cabin must buy it. They say this is to prevent sharing, so you don't buy a margarita and hand it to your wife. But what if your husband loves fine bourbon and drinks 5 glasses a night, but you only drink Diet Coke? Too bad. You both have to pay. So now, for a 7-day cruise, your husband's habit is costing the family not $1,000, but $2,000. Suddenly, that bourbon costs $40 a glass when you factor in your unused package. There are ways around this. Sometimes you can call and plead medical exceptions or pregnancy, or offer to buy the non-alcoholic soda package for the second person. But it is a hassle, and they don't always say yes. It is a rule designed to maximize revenue, not guest satisfaction. The unlimited lie and exclusions. Let's talk about the fine print. You bought the unlimited package, so you think you can walk into any bar and order anything, right? Wrong. First, there is the price cap. In 2026, most standard packages have a limit of $15 per drink. But have you seen the new menus? That smoked old-fashioned you saw on Instagram, it's $18. That glass of premium Cabernet, it's $20. Does your package cover it? No. You have to pay the difference plus gratuity. And let's talk about the non-alcoholic exclusions. You wake up and want a fresh latte from the branded coffee shop on board. Sorry, Starbucks isn't included. You want a large bottle of water to take with you on your excursion. Sorry, only glasses of water are included, bottles are extra. You want a fresh squeezed juice at the spa? Extra. You can easily spend $1,000 on a beverage package and still end up with a bill for $200 at the end of the week for coffee, water bottles, and premium upcharges. But wait, there is a darker layer to this that almost nobody talks about. We call it the algorithmic panic. In 2026, cruise lines are using dynamic pricing AI similar to airlines. Have you noticed those emails screaming, price goes up in 48 hours, or save 30% if you book now? They are tracking your browser cookies. They know you looked at the package 3 times. They create a false sense of urgency to make you panic buy at $100 a day, making you think it will be $130 on the ship. Sometimes it is cheaper beforehand, but often I've seen passengers panic buy a package only to find a flash sale on day 2 of the cruise that is actually cheaper than what they paid online. But since you prepaid, you can't get the refund. You are locked in at the high rate while the guy next to you paid 20% less because he waited. And then there is the issue of skimpflation, paying the same price for lower quality. In the past, if you ordered a generic rum and coke, you might get Bacardi. Today, if you don't specify the brand, you are getting the cheapest well spirit available, stuff that comes in plastic jugs you've never heard of. Even worse is the jigger enforcement. Watch the bartenders closely. In the old days, they would free pour, counting to 4, giving you a strong, hearty drink. Now, cameras and inventory sensors force them to use jiggers, measuring cups, for every single drop. A standard shot is 1.25 or 1.5 ounces. If the glass is full of ice, you're getting a drink that tastes like a melted slushie after 3 sips. You aren't just paying for the alcohol, you are paying for a mountain of ice designed to mask how little liquor is actually in the glass. The bartender psychology. Here is an insider secret from my time working with the crew. Bartenders know who has the package and who doesn't. When you have a package, the gratuity is prepaid. The bartender gets a tiny slice of that pool, regardless of how fast they serve you. But when you are a pay as you go guest, you are signing a slip every time. You have the power to add an extra $1 or $2 tip right there on the receipt. Bartenders are smart. They know that a la carte guests often tip better in the moment. I'm not saying service is bad with a package, but on a crowded pool deck, waving a C-Pass card that shows you are a tipper can sometimes get you a drink faster than the package card. The solution: pay as you go. So, what is the alternative? It's simple: pay as you go. I know, it feels scary. You are afraid of the bill shock at the end of the cruise. You want the peace of mind of knowing it's all paid for. But try this experiment. Go to a bar on land this weekend. Try to drink $120 worth of alcohol in one day. See how you feel. On a ship, you can check your spending folio instantly on the cruise line's app. You can track it day by day. Unless you are a very heavy drinker or someone who strictly drinks high-end scotch, you will likely find that by day 7, your bill is around $600 or $700. The package would have cost you $100 or $200 or more. You just saved $500. That's a shore excursion. That's a deposit on your next cruise. That's a flight upgrade. Conclusion: stop buying the package just for peace of mind. You are buying the world's most expensive insurance policy against being thirsty. Keep your money in your pocket. Pay for what you actually consume. Enjoy the port days without guilt, and don't let the marketing emails fool you. Now, speaking of losing money, the beverage package isn't the only trap. The moment you step off the ship, there are locals waiting to separate you from your cash. In my next video, I'm going to expose the port tourist traps specifically targeting cruise passengers in 2026, from the taxi scams to the fake free jewelry charms. You need to watch that before you get off the ship. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss it. I'm Carolyn Morgan. Drink responsibly and spend wisely.